one of the things I just remember you saying, Kae, was that you felt that this record wanted to sound anchored in really bassy, and for there to be a lot of low end, like powerful.
Ship's foghorn.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing that went down, do you think, Fraser?
Well, it would have been the piano. So I'm going to open up the Ableton session. So this is pretty much the process that I would go through most of the time, which is working in Ableton at the beginning, because to me it feels so flexible and so much like for me, like with Ableton, you put the audio in and then it feels like putty, and then to the point where you need to have audio that is malleable in terms of key, tempo, ideas. You can throw things in and it's super, super quick. And then at a certain point, and that's always different, in this case, when we came to record the live instrumentations, then we'll bounce out of Ableton and we'll get it into Pro Tools, and then that feels like that's going to be where it stays until I or someone else, but in this case, me, mixes it. So we were in Ableton, and this session is quite early. So early that it was called KT Drum Idea 4. So it will have been the piano, which is this.
Yeah.
And it's that piano over there, the black upright.
Right.
Which is first piano I've ever owned.
Right.
1,200 quid Yamaha. Which my piano tuner famously said, and I mean, he admits he said this, and we're the best of friends, and he's the most amazing piano tuner in the world. But when I was first playing it and he came in to tune the piano, he said if that was my piano, I would cut it up and use it as kindling in my fire. So I'm pleased to say that he didn't cut it up as kindling.
Yeah.
And we're still using it. So yeah, this is the piano.
Still used it to make fire.
So that becomes like a composite of quite a few things. There's some MIDI going on at the top with these racks that I've created, which are lo-fi keys racks with some this Phase Mistress Sound Toys plugin that I love, and some stock Ableton stuff, which is really cool. Some Valhalla reverb and an RC20 as well, which I really like. I'll play you that. And a lot of the way that Kae and I create and produce together is this hybrid approach of some in the box stuff, loads of live, chopping up the live, putting it on cassette. Whatever works. There's no set technique other than the sound that is in our heads, and you just drive towards that, and that can be like the cheapest plugin, some sort of 8-bit thing that isn't particularly like hi-fi, or like a really well recorded piano that you end up putting onto 100 quid cassette. Not just try and be lo-fi and cool, but I think that was the type of sound that we were going for.
This episode is being supported by Tape It, the iPhone app made specifically for musicians. If you, like many of our guests, use voice memos, then switching to Tape It is an obvious choice. And now, Tape It has layering. This means you can record over your voice notes, try out top lines, stack harmonies, build up instruments, jam with yourself, and so much more. Layering is such an exciting addition to Tape It's long list of features to help you stay creative and organised, including the ability to record straight from your lock screen, set markers, add notes, and add photos of settings. You can easily import your old voice notes, sync to the cloud, and create shared playlists with co-writers and bandmates. So head to the link below to install Tape It and use the promo code Tape Notes to receive a whopping 20% off Tape It Pro. And now, back to the episode.
This is probably at the point where we started bouncing out into Pro Tools, in that it's basically drums, piano and Kae, which is always a good start, but maybe not the finished point. So here are the drums with a little bit of sample replacement and some EQ. I use Trigger to add, Steven Slate Trigger to add sounds. I can see that I've tuned down the snare a little bit, a bit of transient. There's not that much going on. Some soothe, just to, I think the hats were maybe sounding a little harsh to me. But this is more sort of mixing stuff, and there's this Soundtoys Filter Freak on the drum bus, which I don't usually use, but it sounds pretty cool. Just take some of the high end off, just to keep it like old school sounding. So these are the drums as they were mixed. There's some reverb as well, going to a AMS RMX16 reverb plugin, but you can see like very small amounts, minus 33 on the send. So then instrumentation wise, we worked on adding some bass, because that was something which was very important. So again, this is a composite of 808 samples. I'll play them so you can hear them individually, but as a sub, which would have been an old 808 sample that I'd have had, which I'd have played in Ableton and then bounced out. And then we've got this chorus. I'm calling it a bass, but of course it's like a detuned
Ship's foghorn.
Stroke brass sound. But that's and then I've put, I guess because of the frequency, I'd have put these brass hits in the group, because it's all, to me, like low end information, but very important. So I'll play the chorus bass group. One of the things I just remember you saying, Kae, was that you felt that this record wanted to sound anchored in, really bassy, and for there to be a lot of low end, like powerful sounds going on. And I think that low end brass, and I was just thinking of that a lot, like how we get the 808s in certain instances, but live basses, but for there to feel like it felt really rooted with a lot of low end information. So it's constantly thinking about what to add in that respect.